And I'm also checking out Christine Pitawana's there in Drive 8. Christine, you've got Eric Patterson next to you, both of his eyes wide open on the road.
Wide open.
You've got your eyes on the camera. What do you have there for us this morning?
Okay, so we've been all over the area this morning. Right now we are at I-5 and really 217, the interchange. I want to show you what we see right now this morning. It is pretty much clear where we're at right now. So like I said, I-5 northbound near the 217 interchange. This is kind of like the Lake Oswego area. You see, it's quite clear, but man, did it look so different yesterday. Let's take a look at some of this video that we got from Tom Baker. I was talking to him on Instagram last night. He posted the video on his Twitter page, or not Twitter page, Instagram page, and it's gotten like 50,000 plays on it. Lots and lots of semi trucks. You can see them just lined up. The joke that he made was like, hey, if you don't know where your Amazon packages are, you might know where they're at now. But wow, what a mess it was. Really gives you an idea of the conditions that those truck drivers were experiencing, your average drivers were experiencing, but now obviously variable conditions. Let's take a look at some of the video we shot a little bit earlier on I-84 eastbound coming up on Cesar Chavez. That's exit 2. Very icy in that area. Definitely slick. Even in our four-wheel drive car with studs, we were slipping and sliding. 2 cars were in a crash just before exit 2, which is Cesar Chavez. It's really an indication that you've got to go slow, especially when you're talking about some of those highways and freeways in the area that are iced over. The second piece of video from I-84 coming up off the off-ramp on Cesar Chavez, another problem area we saw this morning where 2 semis, I believe it was, they couldn't make it up the off-ramp because of the incline. Very icy, very slick there. Another video from I-84, because that seems to be quite the problem area, at least from our perspective as we've been driving around this morning. We were driving under a number of overpasses and saw huge icicles hanging down over the highway. If you're driving on I-84, definitely keep an eye out for those icicles that are hanging over your car. Also, keep an eye out for chains that are just scattered all around. And you know what? We've definitely seen people driving a little too fast for conditions, especially when we're on I-84. So slow it down. You definitely don't want to be caught in a situation where it's, dangerous. Back out here live. Again, this is I-5 northbound. This is past the 217 interchange, and you can see some slick spots kind of on the left-hand side, but really pretty clear where we're at. Earlier, I mentioned that we've been driving all over the place. When we were on Highway 26, it was quite slick out that way. A few abandoned cars, probably a handful that we saw, but not as many as we saw yesterday. I-5 northbound, kind of near the Markham Bridge area, that looked okay. Kind of near the North Portland area, looked relatively clear to our eyes anyway. Fremont Bridge top deck was very slick as well. So I've said this already, but the story of this morning, I'd say variable conditions depending on where you're coming from. I know our Rod Hill coming from Vancouver, our director Byron coming from Ridgefield on I-5 southbound, they said it was clear on their end in Washington, but once they hit the Oregon border and came into Oregon, that's when they had to really slow it down. So if you're headed out, just take it slow. Maybe double check where you're going and what highways you're going to have to travel, because some areas are much worse than others.